It's Wednesday because I'm the worst at recording early in the week. So here we are on Wednesday again. I just left practice a bit ago. It's about 5:30. I'm on my way home now. So the last couple days are just, they're going. I know I need to be better about recording on all things prep. I've really focused on just talking about my routine and having these little chats. I need to get out of my comfort zone of my car. Acknowledged, I know. We'll work on it. Anyways, practice was good. I had a day today personally. I'm really thankful to have something that requires full presence, because when you're not fully present, you can fall on your neck. So you really have to be just in there. And I've just always really liked the grind of like working on my own. I've always liked this time that I get where it's just me and no one else around, and I can just put my head down and work and just let me grind it out. And so I thankfully, even though today was a day, I did feel like I during my warm-up I had tears in my eyes just as prep goes on, you get a little bit more emotional sometimes. And that's where I'm at this week, is just I was having a day. I felt very emotional. There's a lot of things happening in my life right now on a lot of different fronts, and it felt heavy. And so I'm like in my warm up in tears. But the second I start running, when I say warm up, I mean like my whole mobility routine takes 20 minutes. And so me having my moment, but then once I start getting into skill work, you have to be fully present. And so thankfully, none of the things that have been going on and whatnot today even crossed my mind. It was just me and the gym and the work, and I love that. So anyways, my back hurts. It's tight, and I haven't had that this season at all. It's like my thoracic spine into lumbar. Ooh, it just feels tight, and I think it's like this silly transition that I do. When I say silly, like it's a filler thing, but my back is, we've talked about this, my back is not highly flexible, like at all. I'm not my cup of tea. Don't wish to work on it. I'm good. Do I probably need to stretch a little bit more of my back? Yeah, because this shouldn't happen just by doing this transition where I like fish flop back. Silliness. Anyways, it's tight. But aside from that, good, productive, as always productive. Heart rate today capped at 177. Being as how it's Wednesday, this is not my big hard push day, so I'm not shocked at that. But I was in there for a solid hour 40 between like start of my mobility routine to the end when I stopped my whoop strap. So that was good. Routine runs went pretty well today. When I say pretty well, like I said before, I like to go home. I like to watch my videos. I know what I come back in to work on. Celebrating. Gosh, the tuck is crispy, and I love it. Crispy tuck. Like a stick stand. We don't move our feet. We don't jump around. It's just there. And it doesn't wobble. That's great. So I'm excited for that. My hand balancing skill was good today. It's better with the ankle weights on right now. When I practice it I throw those on at the end when I'm working skill work right now. And it was really good with the ankle weights on. Just solid. Like, we're not moving. We are passing where it needs to through body positions, and that was great. What else? Oh, I couldn't, you know what? Now in retrospect, it was probably my back bothering me, why it didn't hit. My elbow stand is not a hard skill. That's a very easy hit in my routine, and I could not hit it today. And now I think, though, for me to get into like a really strong elbow stand, because I'm in a middle split, I jump into that onto my elbows. I have to arch my back quite a bit just to not overshoot. I'll roll out. That's how you know. Oops. We'll always save it. It'll hopefully not look wild if that ever happens on stage, which it has happened on stage in that skill. Anyways, though, it should just hold, and I have to arch my back quite a bit. So I couldn't, it was not it in routine runs today. I did something crazy too, and actually that's what, now I'm looking back, that's why my back hurts. I tried to save it, and I twisted in this weird way because I go from this like middle elbow stand into a split, my like swing around into a split, and I started to move, and I was like, you're not moving, and so I arched my back really hard to stay in it, and my elbow stand like turned to the side, which maybe could be cool when I watch it back, but we can't do that in real life because that did not feel great. My second section, which I've said is always the one that gets my heart rate up the most, was really solid today. More solid than it has been. And not that it doesn't hit, it always hits, but it just looked cleaner today. So that was exciting. I did experiment with taking one skill out. I have like these two jumps back to back, and one is just a filler, the other is an actual jump. And the filler jump just it's not doing it for me, and I'm feeling gassed. It's towards the very end of the routine. I'm feeling gassed, and so I just experimented with some motion work today to see if I could fill that and just make it pop a little. So all in all, good. And I'm happy where that stands. So big update for this week is that, I guess, two things. On Saturday, I have my first official check-in with Rael. I am so thankful. I am ready at this point, my prep, to just hand it to somebody. Thank you. Please tell me what to do in my life. I think I'm done managing my prep at this point. I've done preps by myself. I've discussed this a little bit, but I'm just ready for somebody else to check me where I need it. And frankly, this is a welcomed, well, much welcome check. I think there are things I need some guidance on at this point, and not that it's going poorly at all. I just know that she's gonna know like where to push the pedal and where to be backing off a little bit. So I'm excited for that. I was also really excited because she enabled my athlete profile again. I looked at my previous prep, and I've been very nervous, and I haven't talked about this. I've been extremely nervous and apprehensive about the fact, like, I am heavier than I ever have been at this point in my prep, being almost 9 weeks out. Like, and I'm not talking like, ooh, 2-3 pounds. We are talking like 6.5 pounds, and that has been scary to me. But today, when I saw my athlete profile was reloaded, I was like, great. I keep track of a lot of things, and did when I was doing my own preps, but when I won her system, I just tracked everything through it and never wrote it down for myself, which I know moving forward I will always do. What I was really excited to see is, yes, I am definitely heavier, but my measurements are smaller than they were previous. My waist is tinier, my hips are smaller, my thighs are smaller, and so I'm holding a much different shape at a heavier weight than I was a year and a half ago. So I knew I put on size, but you know, you don't know until you see it. What's it gonna look like? So that felt encouraging to me, and I'm just excited for her to get eyes on me for like a really first time, with a full check-in on Saturday. So I'm excited for that. And then Chrissy and I are going to practice together on Saturday, and so I'm also very excited for that. The gym has team placements this weekend, so it's just going to be early practices this weekend, but that's fine. You know, I love an early morning. So here we are. All right, I'm home now. I need to eat food, I need to shower, and I need to shut it down for the night. So I will talk to you later. Hi, it's Friday, May 15th, and I said I was gonna do a better job of trying to get out of my car. So I just got home. It's like 3:30, and I need to make my lunch anyways. And so let's talk while I'm making lunch. I pulled everything so that we can talk about it because, again, I said I don't share my food often, and so literally these are all my meals on paper. So today is my low day. Friday is a low day for me right now. And that means this is meal 3. That doesn't include, I don't count post-workout shake as a meal. So anyways, this is meal 3 for the day. I've got one more that'll be in about 2.5 hours, and that's dinner. So this meal, I get to have as much salad as I so wish. I'm actually not aggressively hungry, so I'm only gonna do half of the bag. I buy pre-made salads, and I don't use any of the things. For me, this works. This is an easy pull, and I went to Kroger today, so I grabbed what was on sale, what looked fresh still, and I'll save the stuff, so if Matt ever wants stuff on his salad, he can have it. Just makes life easier than me cutting up a whole bunch more veg, because as I've mentioned, a lot of veg in my life. And then with my salad, I do seed cycle. So I do 1 tablespoon of, right now, I'm doing sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. And so I'm on day 14 of my cycle. I'm definitely ovulating. I feel not great today. Just like I said this before, I get like pressure and it hurts, and I'm puffy today. And last night my low back was hurting so very much. I was like, man, my joints hurt. Matt's like, is this like, routine lifting, or is this ovulating? I said, I feel like I should know how to answer that by now, and I should have known better. Today it's absolutely, I'm more than aware. So anyways, when I get to day 14, I switch over to sunflower and sesame seeds. If you've never looked into seed cycling, you're female, I would recommend it. Listen, could it be some witch science? Sure. Yes, it could be. But you're also getting seeds in your diet, and I don't think there's a lot of downfall with that. So in the first 2 weeks of your cycle, or the first 14 days, you eat pumpkin seeds, 1 tablespoon. It could be up to 2. I do 1. Anyways, pumpkin seeds and flax seeds. And then on the back side, it's sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. And this is meant to help promote the production of estrogen, the production of progesterone, and the balance of your hormones. I will say, when I had 3 consecutive months of I'm just gonna die every single time I had my period, and I was literally fighting for my life for 3 months in a row. This is one change I did make, was including seeds. And then the next month I literally had a 28-day cycle, which I couldn't tell you at any point when that had happened. And also I just didn't have a lot of pain. Now, I did adapt a whole different nutrition plan, so it could have been all of it, but I'm a big advocate. I've also recommended this to a lot of people I've nutrition coached, and I will say I've had women from the age of early 30s to mid 45s who had cycle regulation by just doing this. So take that information for what it is. Anyways, all that to be said, I do seeds in my salad. So I do that. I do I gotta grab it here. 1/4 cup. So it's kimchi right now. I am on this, it's turmeric and seaweed sauerkraut. I really like this one. So it's a fermented food, same as kimchi is, but I'll do a 1/4 cup of it. It's just kind of loosely measured out, and I just pop it on my salad as well. I do have 4 ounces. I'm doing chicken today. It was supposed to be salmon. Bummer. I'm gonna push salmon to dinner. That's fine. Sometimes things happen. I wasn't paying attention enough. I pulled out my chicken ahead of time. I have salmon in the fridge that's thawed out, ready to go, wild caught. I just didn't, I kind of forgot. On my high, nope, on my low carb days, salmon's usually on my salad, so I eat salmon 3 times a week. In this, let me wash my hand. And then I make my dressing. I very much enjoy this dressing. This is something I do off season as well because I like it that much. There goes the cat. So it's a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Hey cutie, Hazel, stop. Scratch at the couch. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose every cat. I do, where'd the lemon go? So I do a half a lemon and I just, I don't eat that anymore. I just squeeze it in here. I try not to get the seeds. I'll fish them out. I'm sure I'll get some seeds. I try to fish them out where I can so that I don't catch my teeth on it. Gosh, I've had so much dental work done in my lifetime since I was a kid. And my teeth are great now, but I don't want to risk breaking them. So I just had a couple seeds go in. So I just kind of squeeze it out with a fork. I like pulp, so for me, and it's going in my salad, it doesn't bother me much to have the pulp in there. All right, so that's in. I'll do a 1/4 teaspoon. So I use Redmond's salt, real salt. This is new. When I say new, I usually do pink Himalayan salt, just organic or natural, whatever. I keep as much stuff as I can in mason jars, so I just keep a 1/4 teaspoon in there. It makes life easy. All my meals have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. I do a very light, this is stevia, raw stevia. I do a light little pinch of it. Stevia is really strong and potent. You don't need a lot to go a long way. And then I like this salt-free lemon pepper. I'll add that in. And then I take my little milk frother. I point away from it because it always splashes a little bit. And I'm gonna add just a pinch of water in. And it just thins it out a little bit. And that's homemade dressing. Dressings are so easy to make, and the ones that are store-bought almost always just have crap oil in them. And so you can prep a lot of salad dressing at one time. You could store it in a mason jar and have better ingredients just from home. If you ever want some recipes, holler at me. I've done this before with Lifetime. I've actually put on a seminar about this, making your own salad in a jar. So anyways, that is, so I'll mix all this up. Again, this wasn't a lot of salad today. A little lighter. And I want to reiterate, this should have had salmon on it. This is why I need to pay attention more. But I'll just do salmon in dinner. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Okay, so it looks so pretty. It's so vibrant. On my carb days, it's the same. I don't have salmon on my carb days. I thought I was on a carb day. I will do chicken or turkey. And the only change is that I also have on my carb days a 1/4 cup of strawberries. And so that is what, get my finger all the way. There we go. That's what she looks like. I also, it seems negligible, but it's a thing. I get to have 7 cashews, which I love. Used to be almonds, switched to cashews because of my ferritin and needing to focus on iron intake. And so I started having cashews instead of almonds. Just a pinch higher in that. I know it seems like nothing, but it all adds up. And my nutrition is just very vibrant with how much I get in a diet. So I do think it matters. And my ferritin has gone up by 15, 16 points. And I think that is, something's working. So I'm going to sit and eat this. I did, just quick update. I had a massage about 2 hours ago. It was fabulous. It was everything I needed. Oh, it was not the kind of relaxing massage. That's not what I wanted though. I wanted to be beat up a little bit. I wanted to get all the stuff worked out because I've got a big weekend with Practice Head and I'm excited for that. But also I know my body's feeling tight. So I'm going to eat. I've got 2 things around here. I got home from the grocery store. I had gotten a couple quick things I needed for the weekend. I'm gonna do one thing to clean around here, committing to doing one thing, and then I'm gonna chill because I need to start chilling more. All right, that's Friday. Bye. Hi, it's Sunday. Let's catch up a little bit. I didn't really do a whole lot of talking this past week. I did a little bit, not in the car. But life's lifing, but it's been good. Saturday, so yesterday, Chrissy came up. We had a really great practice together. We smoothed out her, just a couple areas that needed just a little TLC. We also mapped out the stage yesterday, which is so important. If you're somebody who competes in this division and you don't ask the promoter for stage specs, I would always recommend it. And then map it out. Actually put markers on the floor, because we actually did find a couple things yesterday. It's just so important visually to understand and to be able to put yourself in that space before you're actually in that space, so that you're not on stage and having to figure out like, oh shoot, in my head, now instead of focusing on skill, I got to think about where am I going and how I'm going to turn my body. And it can affect your presentation when you're executing a skill at an angle that maybe you didn't intend to do it at. So all that to be said, we did that yesterday and it looked good. I'm really excited for her. She's going to Legion, I think, in about 2-3 weeks. And so she will be competing there. Allison, who I've helped as well along the way here with her choreography and just smoothing things out, she will also be competing. So I'm very excited to see both of them take the stage in just a few short weeks. It's just to sit in that side and then to be able to see them shine. It really special. So I'm excited. And then yesterday, Chrissy helped me on mine. I ran halves yesterday, which is progress. I haven't done that yet. And so I did that once on each side. It was great because I 100% confirmed this first half is harder than the second by a long shot. But that means I have to be able to do the second half under fatigue. And that changes the game when you have to execute in that condition. Anybody can do things fresh. Anybody can do a third as it stands. This is why routine conditioning practices should be run differently. You need to put yourself under that kind of fatigue to see how you execute. So now going into practice, let's fast forward today. When I was running my opening through the 25-second mark, gets my heart rate pretty high, not as high as the second part, the part to come, but by the time I have to reset my music, because I'm taking very, very short breaks now at this point, lessening them down to 40 seconds, my heart rate's coming down, but it's still at 150-ish, and then I'm going again and starting the whole thing off, and my routine does open with skill. So all that to be said, it's just something to take into consideration. How you routine condition matters. And so I was happy with how yesterday went. Yesterday evening, we went out, I had a refeed. We went to an Italian market and had fresh pasta, which I've been wanting pasta. I haven't had it in a while. And I had gotten one that had a lemon base instead of doing like a cheese or red sauce. And it had seafood. It was really good. And then we shared a little bit of gelato. And today I had a feeling I was going to come in fueled. And I definitely did. So I came in with every intention of, I'm going to start off, I'm going to run the halves again, see how that goes, and then go into breaking it up. I got to the halfway point, and I just in my mind said, just go. Just do it. I did my first full out today. Yay. And here's the more exciting part. Now I will put an asterisk on the skill Rael wants me to throw and that back half, because I don't have it yet. I'm putting yet there because when I'm practicing it, I can get about halfway down. I need to get my chest down to the floor, but we're getting there. But during my routine runs, I hold the position. So it's a bird dog plank, if you will. I just hold that for an 8.5 count. So aside from that, everything hit. Nothing fell out. Nothing didn't hit. To be 9 weeks out and to see that, now mind you, it's not the cleanest I've ever had. To be expected. To be expected. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. I don't think I'm usually cleanly running full outs until about 6 to 7 weeks out. So I am, in my opinion, ahead of the game at this point. And that makes me feel fantastic. And then my runs went really well today. Really well. So all in all, it was great. I'm on my way home now. I'm getting home now. And we're going to have just a couple hours to chill out. It's getting on to be 11 o'clock now. And so I haven't recorded much this week, and I have a little time this afternoon. So I am going to talk about my background today. Not in this video. I'm going to do it separate. But I'm going to include some routine clips from practice so you can see them. You can see me kind of die at one point because skill is hard, and then you add weight to your body, and it's even harder. And I just kind of lay on the mat. You'll see it. It just, I just had a moment where I said, I give up for the day. I didn't give up for the day. But sometimes it is just, this is the life we live, competing in this sport. We are training and firing on all cylinders, and sometimes you just need to lay there and contemplate life for a moment before you go back at it. So, all right, it's been a good week. Let's roll the tape back on practice. I'll see you later. Hey, okay, I'm taking a breather for like 2 more minutes. And then I'm going to start running I'm going to do quarters today. So I'm not doing thirds, I'm doing quarters, 3 times through each. And then I will condition skill with more weight on my body. Okay, so first take, I had every intention of running a half and a half, like first half, second half. And I got to the halfway point, and so when I did halves for the first time yesterday, I felt like strongly the first half is 10 times harder than the back half. It doesn't mean the back half is hard. It does mean the back half you have to do under fatigue though. So I have to take that into consideration. So I get to the halfway point in my routine. I'm like, let's just go for it. Like in my mind in that moment, I just made a decision not to stop. And I said, let's just go. And I did a full out. Everything hit. So the new skill Rael wants me to do, I held it. I didn't do that skill. So I guess you can take that as a not hit, but nothing fell. Nothing came out. The back half is certainly more challenging when my heart rate is racing. And I said before, I think that like double jump towards the end, I'd have to change it. I have to change it. It's it's not it when my heart rate's elevated, and I really want the last jump to be a bang. So I'm gonna fill that with something else. But first take, I'm really happy. I don't know if I'm usually running routines at 9 weeks out. I don't plan to like come in here and do 17 full outs every time, but I do plan to like open each practice with one, and this is exciting just to have the confidence of I know I can do it. And so I am thrilled. I'm so happy, and we're gonna continue now. We're gonna work on quarters so I can get a really clean spliced routine together for visualization for the week. I only am gonna have practice on Wednesday this week. I'm not practicing Saturday and Sunday because we're out of town for Memorial Day. So I am gonna get back to work here, gonna make it count, and we'll talk after. first full run. Happy. Everything hit. Sure, it needs to be cleaner, but it all went. Wow. Oh my gosh.